If you have a desire to become a better version of your current self, then this podcast is for you. I share with you helpful thoughts, tips, and stories surrounding fitness and self-improvement which you can apply to your life today. So for those of you that want to take control of your life, to learn, to grow, to become that which you desire most, I am your host, Connor Malone, and this is the pursuit of constant improvement. In today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you how you can make 2024 the best year of your life, the best year yet, and how you can achieve more than you have ever achieved before. Because with today's episode, I find it so important. With this time of the year, of course, we're all setting goals. We're all trying to get better. We're all trying to achieve certain things. But I don't want you to be that person that every single year sets these goals and never ends up actually achieving them. So we're going to go over things today. This isn't a step-by-step. This is a solid list of things that I have done, that I've experienced a lot, and that I feel will be very valuable for you to make sure that by the time you get to the end of 2024, you can look back at it and think, wow, this has been a successful year. I have made a year of memories. I've succeeded, and it generally you've advanced with your pursuit of constant improvement. And that's what we're going to talk about in today's episode. Now, the first thing I want you to do is this. When looking at this year ahead and you think, right, I'm going to change this, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to do this, whatever it happens to be, I want you to be very clear on what you want to achieve. Like, think of it like not only like what you want to achieve, the wee individual things, like who would you be happy becoming at the end of this year? Like, if you to look back at the end of 2024 in December, this time the next year, kind of, and think, right, what have I done this year? What would make you happy? Because people all too often set goals of like, right, I want to lose X amount of weight, I want to do this, I want to do that. But will that actually put you in a position where you are happy with what you've done this year? Because it doesn't need to be set in numeric targets. Like, I want to lose X amount of weight, I want to make X amount of money. What is a position that you'd be in that you'd be happier? Would you have learned more? Would you be in better shape? Would you be in a better position at work? Would you be in a better position with your relationship? Would you be in a relationship? Whatever it happens to be, think of that, picture it, and then, because what we're going to do today is we're going to reverse engineer off the back of that. Because I find one of the most effective ways to reach a goal is to reverse engineer. And all that means simply is that you look at an end goal and you think of, right, whoever got that goal, what would they have done to get there? And you can create clear steps for order to you to get from here to your end goal just here. And that's how we're looking at this year from here. Because what would make this year a success? It's important with that to realize that success is a relative term. It means different things to different people. And if you're just going by what success is to somebody else, it's what I've said. Maybe it's losing weight, it's making more money, whatever. But you could still get to the end of the year. You could have done all those things. You could be unhappy and unfulfilled. And you might be like, well, I don't feel any more successful. I feel like this year hasn't actually benefited me. Well, you need to be clear on that. And that's why at the start of the year, we picture the position we want to be in at the end of the year. It doesn't need to be, I need this amount of money in the bank. It could just be, I want to be in a better financial position. And then you could look at, right, well, what would that mean? And then how would I get there? That is the most effective thing you can do to then get the most out of this year ahead. Rather than just looking at it and just like saying a goal, I want to lose weight. Why? Why do you want to do that? How is that going to change your life? And then how are you going to get there? How would a person that has lost X amount of weight have got there? And that would be your steps for this year from here. Because I said, like, for me, that's been the most important thing is reverse engineering. Because I like the idea of looking at another person or the future version of me. If I think that I want to be in a certain position, I'd think, right, once I've got to that position, what is the things that I will have had to have done on a daily and a weekly and a monthly basis in order to become that type of person? Because there's loads of minor habits and steps and things that when done consistently would help you get there. Weight loss is an easy one, for example. Like, if you want to lose, 20 pounds, 30 pounds and get into build a better physique, but that means reducing your body fat. Well, how would a person do that? They would maybe start the year with a training plan and a nutritional plan that they can follow consistently. They would follow X diet, they would do X training plan, they would do it this amount of times per week. There's your steps. And all you need to do is put the work in and be patient off the back of it there. Because with goal setting things, a lot of procrastination and failure with goal setting comes from a lack of clarity. If you don't really know not only where you want to be, but how you're going to get there, then you're not going to get there. Think of it in the simplest form in a car. If you're in a car where you are right now and you have an end destination, but you have no fucking idea how to get there, what are the chances of you actually getting there? You're just relying on luck. us, me and you, type of people in the pursuit of constant improvement, people that are focused on their own fitness and self-improvement, people that want to become better, we do not rely on just luck. We make plans, and the way that we make plans is by, as I said, reverse engineering off of that. So that's why this is so, so important, is be clear what you want to achieve this year. And then we look back at it from there in that position. So we don't end up getting into a position where we're wishful thinking and we're becoming procrastinating because we don't have that clear plan from there. One of the biggest things that could make this year a success for you is, if you've not done it already, is committing to self-improvement. And what I mean by that is, you might be somebody who thinks, well, oh yeah, I like self-improvement. I'm trying to improve all the time, whatever. But actually, are you? Is it a priority in your life? Are you trying to get better all the time? Like, to me, it's one of my biggest priorities, is becoming better. Not just as like, I always talk about, whether it's with your physique, whether you want to lose body fat, get in better shape, but it's with all aspects. Like with how I handle my emotions, my communication skills, that's self-improvement. How you talk to people, how you treat people, that's all self-improvement. And you can make that a priority. I don't think there should be many things more of a priority than self-improvement in your life. And the thing that happens is, when you make it a priority, you achieve more. It's like with anything that you've wanted to achieve in the past. Let's say it's a better job. You would have made that a priority, wouldn't you? So why shouldn't your own improvement be your priority with this year? Because most people see self-improvement as a selfish thing, which it completely isn't. You need to make it a priority. You need to change things and do things differently. And there's a quote that I really like, and it says, to get something you never had, you had to do something you never did. Because what you're doing right now clearly isn't working. If you're not in the position you want to be in, this isn't working. You need to do something that you have not done before in order to get and to become the person that you want to become. Things need to change. And coming back to step number one, if we really kind of clarify our goals, and that's, again, the first thing I would do, we're able to do that better. We're able to realize how to become that type of person. And then we can prioritize self-improvement, because we can then decide, like, right, what has to be different here? Because again, if 2024 is to be your best year yet, things have to change. Like, even if you were happy with how this year went, if you want next year to be better, things have to be different. Like, you'd have to change something in order to make it a little bit better than it was just there. And again, most of you listen to this podcast, including myself, we want to do things better in this next year from here. Because if you fall into the trap of what most people do, and you do the same things over and over again, you fall into, as Einstein would say, insanity. Because as Einstein once said, insanity is doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results. So are you that person who's like, right, I'm going to go again January, I'm going to start again, I'm going to become the best version of myself, I'm going to become that type of guy or that type of person I really want to be? Well, if you're doing that and you're not changing anything, then you, by Einstein's definition, are insane. You aren't changing everything. And again, you need to make that change. So by making self-improvement a priority in your life, you make change a priority in your life. Because inevitably, that's what you need. If you're not happy with where you are and you want to be somewhere else, you need change, because change doesn't happen by chance. Now, as I said with the reverse engineering, the way that I go about my year is I look at, right, where do I want to be? I create a list of things that would get me there. Those are my systems, my habits that I follow on a regular basis, and I make a routine around that. So if we use the usual of getting into better shape, what would get you into better shape? Well, the person that I want to be, who's lost X amount of weight and is in really good condition and really good shape, they're confident with themselves. You know, they can kick about wearing those tight t-shirts, those slim fit polos, which I know most of you guys want. I'm there. Honestly, I believe it. I've been there my whole life. I've wanted to be that type of person. If you want to be that person, changes need to be made. And you need to look at your life like, right, well, I need to be training regularly. I need to be controlling my nutrition. I need to be doing this type of training plan. I need to be focused on growing muscle or losing body fat, whatever it has to be for you. Those are your steps. Those are your habits that you need to follow on a regular basis from there. Another thing that most people forget is what can you remove? Because when I said that you need to make change, people automatically think, right, oh, what can I add in to change who I am? It's more important on what you remove. Because the reason you aren't happy with where you are right now is because you've not changed the things that you should be changing. You've not removed the things you should be removing. So you can look at your life from here and think, right, what's stopping me from becoming the person I want to be? Is it the fact that I'm drinking too much? Is it the fact that I'm going out too much? Or is it just the fact that maybe I'm lazy? I'm not disciplined enough? Well, then you think, right, how can I build my discipline? And I've done a podcast episode on that, so you can go and listen to it from there. Now, if there is one thing that you can do this year with self-improvement, with fitness, to me, the biggest thing you can do is be relentless with your training. And that, again, I didn't just mention fitness and getting into incredible shape. I mean this with everything, with all aspects of your life. When I look at most people that I admire, now this is as a young guy, the type of people that I admire, if it's like, for example, like Jocko Willink, if it's Chris Williamson, Stephen Bartlett, all these people, they all have a lot of things in common, but one of the things that every single person I look at has in common is they all train. They weight train. They train hard. They are relentless with their training. Because so many good things come off of weight training and being relentless with it, because you become more disciplined. You become the type of guy that trains on a regular basis. Of course, you get the physiological benefits from it. You get into better shape. You get all of that. But it's just, it makes you become that type of person that most young guys want to be. So for me, that's a priority. But whether you are that or not, training you should be relentless with it, because it helps every goal with self-improvement and with your fitness from there. So even with your health, like if you're training, let's say 3 times a week, weight training is going to give you almost more benefits than any other type of training. Like from a standpoint of your health, like your bones, your muscles, like your brain health, everything like that, it really does make a profound impact in your life. So if you are somebody, that doesn't weight train right now, that should be one of your priorities going in this year. If self-improvement is a goal of yours, then go ahead with that. Be relentless with your training this year, because it really can transform the type of person you are and where you'll be at the end of this year. Now, with this year and what we've already spoke about, like, you clearly haven't got to where you want to be. Most people don't. That's fine. We just need to look at, right, how can we change that? Because we don't want to make the same mistakes that we made last year. So if there's things that you've done that kept you in the position that you're in right now and inevitably didn't allow you to go and achieve your goals, we need to change that. This is what I do with all my clients. We look at potential blockers, or we look at things that blocked them in the past, and we look to remove them. Like, it could be something as simple as like overeating at night. People overeat. I get that with clients all the time. People are like, oh, I can't stop eating at night. Well, then what we do is we look to work around that. So we look at environment changes. How can we change their environment so they don't have the same habit triggers to then eat? We then look at the setting standards as to when they eat and when they don't eat. Maybe they fast. Maybe they leave more of their calories tonight. There's loads of different things. But again, we do that by looking ahead and thinking, right, how do we not make the same mistakes again? And if you want to get further this year, you want to achieve more things this year, you need to look at that. It's a negativity audit. Like, what stopped you from getting where you wanted to be last year? Or even if you did get to where you want to be, what could you have removed that would have helped you got further or get there even quicker? Well, that's what you can do this year. You can look at those things and you can remove it. Like, a few examples would be like, if you lack structure, well, you can create structure by doing 2 things. You can plan your weeks and you can review your weeks. It's super simple. And that's one of the habits that's transformed my improvement and made my years better, particularly in the past kind of 3 years, has been planning my weeks out. If you don't use a diary, it's one of the best things you can do, literally. I think it was just my dad that used diaries and planned his weeks, but believe me, it's class. It gives you so much clarity if you're using either a written diary or a diary on your phone to plan out your weeks, reviewing your weeks. Because if you want to get to the end of the year and think, right, I'm in the position where I wanted to be at the start of the year, you need to be reviewing that regularly. So at the end of your week, if you do that 52 times a year and think, right, am I doing the things I need to do? Yes, continue. Am I doing the things I need to do? No. Well, then you need to change things. That means in those 52 points of the year, you can have multiple opportunities to then change things that need to be changed. So again, because what will probably happen is, right, you'll make changes this year. You make changes in the first month of the year, and some of them won't work. Like, I fail all the time with new habits and goals and things like that. But the important thing is that you learn from it and you go again. And you can only do that by reviewing your week. So that is something that can really push you forward this year and help you succeed, is by planning your weeks ahead and also reviewing them at the end of the week. If it isn't something you do, it could be something that's allowing you to miss out on a lot of progress, a lot of improvement. Now, if you never achieve the goals you set, it's one of the most common things I see. It's people set new goals and they're like, oh, I just didn't achieve them. It's because you really set goals that weren't necessarily achievable. They were too big. Now, there's nothing wrong with setting big goals and things like that, but if you're in a position where you're pretty lazy, you don't have discipline, and you have no experience of achieving your goals before, setting a big wild goal it's not smart. It's not going to get you anywhere. So what you need to do is set smaller targets, build smaller wins, build more proof of who you are. Then you will gain confidence. Because one way to crush your confidence is to set these unattainable huge goals and not achieve them time after time after time. So what you could do is use something I use, and it's weekly non-negotiables. So rather than a daily non-negotiable where it's pretty easy to fail all the time and like not do them a couple of days in a row. If, like, let's say you're like, oh, I want to read 10 pages a day. Rather than doing that, read 70 pages a week. That way, if you miss it Monday, Tuesday, you can do some Wednesday, you can do some Thursday. If you miss Friday, Saturday, you still got time to catch up on Sunday. So you've got multiple opportunities to make it a really good week rather than just looking to wee your kind of days and things like that. You're setting too high goals for each day. So that's one way to do it. So you can set smaller goals by spreading them out and by looking at weekly non-negotiables rather than daily non-negotiables. If you're setting a goal of like, oh, I want to lose X amount of weight, just say that you want to be in better shape and then create a plan on how to do it. Because then you're actually going to be able to do it. Because with motivation throughout your year, you're only going to get that when you start to achieve small wins. And you only get small wins by setting small goals. If you just have one huge goal that's a million miles away, you're not going to feel very motivated with it. So that's something that can make a huge difference to you this year. Another one that I hear a lot is a lack of accountability. If you're someone that's earlier on in their journey, you do not have self-accountability yet. A lot of people don't have that, and it really keeps them stuck in the beginning stages of their self-improvement because they don't have somebody to keep them accountable to what they need to do. They don't have somebody to help them push through blockers that they didn't even know existed. And for that, it's pretty simple. Like, hire a coach or speak to somebody. Now, that seems like a selfless plug because, of course, I am a coach, but it doesn't need to be me. It could be anybody. It could be somebody you can speak to. Have somebody there that can keep you accountable, somebody that you trust and somebody that is somebody that you almost somebody that you look up to. If you trust them and they're an authority figure in your life, you will want to almost please them. You'll want to follow through on your word. Whereas if it's a pal that doesn't really care and you know that, he's just doing it just to say it, then you're not going to follow through on your word. You're not going to treat as accountability as a high standard. So again, that's how you can really advance this year, is get accountability, whether it's hiring a coach, whether it's somebody that you know, get them to hold you accountable from there. Like, I remember years ago, I used to see people all the time and they'd be putting up a picture of themselves, right? And they'd be like, oh, I'm doing this to hold myself accountable. Bullshit. Like, I get it. For some people it works. They're like, oh, this is going to hold me accountable. That's not going to hold you accountable. Like, you're the type of person that says, oh, I don't care what people think or anything like that. But why would you put a picture up of yourself and make you be more accountable? It just doesn't make any sense. So if you want to be held accountable, it needs to be from somebody you respect, whether that's a coach, whether that's a friend, whoever it is, get some form of accountability. And again, that's going to help you overcome those blockers from this year. Now, a random tip that I really wanted to add in here is one of the best things I've added in the start of the year is a really good time to do it, is get a daily reader. Like, see if you're trying to get into reading or you like reading, get a daily reader. There's one called the Daily Stoic. There's loads of other ones. You can search them up online. It's such a good thing to start off your year because a daily reader is very simply something where you read 1 page a day. Again, like me being a bit different, I don't actually read 1 page a day. I'll do it like twice a week and I'll catch up a few pages. But it means I read this book through the whole year. And you might think, oh, that's only 1 book a year. It's better than no books a year. And not only that, is we're not looking at this from the end result of, oh, I'll finish 1 book at the end of the year. We look at it as the result of the habit that you're building. It's either daily reading or it's you do it every couple of weeks and you're more likely to stick to it throughout the year. And that habit throughout the whole year is going to help you with other habits as well. So again, a daily reader, I would really recommend that as something you bring into your year. At this time of the year, you can go and buy one on Amazon and you can start at the start of the year, which tends to be a little bit easier from there. But very simply, takeaways from today's episode, be clear on what you want to achieve. Like, set out those clear goals, whatever you want to be by the end of the year, make that clear for yourself. Make it clear what needs to change. Because if you don't, again, as we said, change doesn't happen by chance. You need to define what it is that you want to change and then go ahead and go and do it from there. Commit to self-improvement. You can do that through your training. Make your training a priority this year because the benefits you get from it will be more than almost any other habit. So I would highly recommend you do that. Also, only add in habits that are going to help you become a better person. Don't start the year and try and add in a million different things. I always talk about focusing on removing things first, because those are the things that bring the chaos and destruction into your life. So if you do that, great. But after it, listen, you don't need an addition of a million different habits. You just need 1 or 2 really, really solid habits and they'll push you forward from there. Now, going into the new year, if you feel like you need more than that, you need support, accountability and things like that, luckily for you, I am running a free challenge, the Pursuit of Constant Improvement Challenge. So if you're somebody that takes a fitness and self-improvement seriously, or you want to take it seriously, and the start of the year you feel like it's going to be a good time for you to do that, I'm doing a free challenge. It's completely free. It's over 14 days. And what I'm going to do is give you resources, accountability to help you get to where you want to be. So throughout those 14 days, we'll build up structure and routine. So then you can go on by yourself after that and continue onwards. But 14 days of accountability and structure for free. There's going to be a group of us doing it. If you want to know more about that, click the link, the very first link in the description below. It'll take you to the page. Even if you're just the slightest bit interested in it, go down to the link, have a wee look at it. If it's not for you, fine. If it is, you can get it for free, right? I'm not trying to sell you in here. You can get it for free and jump on with that. But other than that, I'm going to leave you with a quote from today. Now, it is by Epictetus. It's a bit of a big quote, so I'll kind of scoot on a wee bit forward here. I absolutely love this quote. To me, it very well summarizes the pursuit of constant improvement. Epictetus was a Greek philosopher. He was a Stoic philosopher, and some of his writings are incredible. And this particular quote, I really, really do like. And it relates very well to not only the pursuit of constant improvement, but of a lot of your positions now. So I'll go ahead with it from here. So Epictetus said, "The longer you wait, the more you'll be vulnerable to mediocrity and feel filled with the shame and regret. Because you know you are capable of better. From this instant on, vow to stop disappointing yourself, separate yourself from the mob, decide to be extraordinary, and do what you need to do now." And all he was saying there is essentially, the more you wait, the more you'll be mediocre, the more you'll be in the position where you don't want to be. And that's probably how you're feeling right now. You've set all these goals before, you've never took action on them and things. You need to take action now. You are capable of better, you are capable of more, and you can make that change now. And for example, what I just said there, like that free challenge for a lot of you is perfect. 14 days to get you kick-started with your fitness and self-improvement and push on forward from there. So if that sounds good to you, as I said, it is in the first link in the description from there. But other than that, I hope you have a fantastic start to your year. I hope you take some value from this podcast. You bring it into your year. If you did, be sure to share that with me on social media. Drop me a wee message. Cora Malone PT is my Instagram. But other than that, as I said, I hope you apply something from this episode, and I hope you push forward in your own pursuit of constant improvement. Thank you for listening.